Hi everyone, Luke here from Weekend Tour Pros, and today we're going to be reviewing these, the Ping G425 Golf Irons. Now Ping claim that these irons will help you launch the ball higher, hit it further, and give you more stopping power into the greens. It sounds like a magic formula, so let's put that to the test, shall we, and see if these irons are as good as Ping are claiming. Okay, so I've just got down to the fitting bay here and I've got the club in my hand for the first time. I'm just going to give you my first impressions of the look and sort of show you some pictures of it up close as well. First impressions are a really cool, sleek looking golf club. Probably doesn't have as much sort of sex appeal as some of the other irons that I've tested recently, so the Callaway Rogue Max or the TaylorMade P790s or even the Stealth irons, but it's still a really good looking golf club. It's quite different shades of silver, they catch the light in different ways. The bit around the Ping logo, the black, is kind of textured and really cool like that. You have this screw at the end. Again, I've seen that in Ping clubs for a while now. It doesn't offend me at all, doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't notice it when it's down at the dress. You do get this little cutaway bit kind of in the heel. No idea why Ping do that, but again, doesn't offend me. You can't notice it, it's just something unique about Ping. In terms of setting it down at address for the first time, initial observation, now considering this is a game improvement iron, it doesn't look as chunky as some of the other game improvement irons that I've hit recently. So if you're someone who doesn't like that chunky look, definitely something I think you'll like in this club is it does feel a little bit thinner. If you do get up close and personal, the top line is chunky, it is chunky, but the way it's kind of curved and the way the material is used and the way the light's bending off it here in the bay today, it just doesn't feel as chunky. You certainly can't see anything sticking out the back either when it's down at address, so definitely feels a little bit more like kind of one of the players improvement irons, you know, those kind of mid-handicapper irons that you see, so closer to like a P790 from TaylorMade or my Titleist T200. Feels certainly like it looks a little bit more in that category. A couple of other things just to touch on. If you haven't seen my review of the Callaway Rogue Max irons just yet, I'll put a link to it up in the corner for you. During that review I said that I'd never ever seen a golf iron where the grooves are actually coloured in with a paint, and the bottom two in that iron are coloured in. Here it's the bottom one groove. I have to say I'd never seen it before. 2 club reviews in a row, both have got it on there, so I don't know if that's a new trend, if it's designed to kind of help you address, line up the ball with the club perpendicular to your target, maybe, I'm not sure. And the other thing you do get with Ping, right in the high toe bit here, is you do get the number on the iron. So as well as on the bottom of the club, you do get it here at the bottom as well, sorry, on the high toe. So just if you are down at address and you're sitting there and thinking, is this the right club? At least you can sort of see that you haven't accidentally picked up your 9 iron when you thought you had a 6 or vice versa. But yeah, something I've not seen in other irons before, but pretty cool. So yeah, overall, like the look of the golf club. Probably not as sexy as some of the other ones that I've tested in terms of looks, but certainly feels a little bit sleeker, a little bit thinner. So that is something you look for in a golf club, and you are still wanting that game improvement benefit. I think you'll really like these. Let's give them a hit and see how they perform. Wow, that's gone super high. Don't know if that's my delivery or if it's the club, but I think that's gone high and a little bit left. Not the greatest golf shot first time up, but it's still gone 153 yards and it's span at 5,366 revs. Okay, so it's launched really high, 20 degrees. It's landed at 46 degrees, which is just ridiculously good, but it's gone 153. Okay. I don't know how much of that was me and how much of that was the club. So let's hit a couple more. Interestingly, I was expecting it to have that real Ping sound. It actually didn't feel like it sounded very pingy in terms of what I was expecting. It actually sounded great. That's not me criticising the Ping sound. I just know that some people like it and some don't. Yeah, that's good. That's a really good golf shot. Now let's see what the numbers are there. Dead straight, high launch. Wow. Okay, so launching at 16.1 again, landing at 41, spinning at 5,215. So initial observations from hitting 2 shots, they've both gone 153 yards. One didn't feel like I hit it perfect, one felt like I hit it good, so consistency, forgiveness of the golf club, absolutely there on the first couple of shots. Definitely spinning a lot more than any of the irons I've tested recently in the first 2. Both of these are over 5,000 revs, which is unusual for me with a 7 iron, and as a result that carry is a little bit down, but we are getting some really good launch and some really good land angle. That's gone miles in the air. That is like super high. Really intrigued to see the peak heights of these when I get home already. Where's that one gone? 162 yards, so I've slightly pulled it there, and as you would expect from a slight pull, you get the jump up in yardage. 162 yards, still spinning at 5,265, so that's 3 in a row that have spun around 5,200 already. Again, land angle 42 degrees, launching at 15.6. Great numbers. Now interestingly, one thing I would say at this point here is if you've watched any of my other reviews of some of the game improvement irons, so either the TaylorMade Stealth or the Callaway Rogue Max irons, they absolutely go for miles. They're just absolute power bats. The distances have just blown my mind. The one thing I would say about Ping here is they actually give you 3 different loft options in these clubs. So they do just a standard loft option, they then do a power loft option, which actually makes the lofts more comparable to what we've seen with the Callaway and what we've seen with the Stealth. And then what they do is like a retro loft option, which is more your traditional lofts before kind of the days of making all of the lofts lower as well. So what I'll do is I'll put all 3 of those lofts up on the screen for you. I'm just hitting the standard ones today. So what I would say is if you've watched any of my recent videos and you've seen me hitting these other irons miles, they are more stronger lofted, so wouldn't expect this to go as far, but impressed already at the fact that I've hit 162 yards, impressed with the spin, impressed with the launch, impressed with the land angle. So let's hit a few more. Again, so high. Really good golf shot again. 156 yards on that one, spinning at 5,000, the lowest spinning one we've had, and it's gone 155.9. Launching at 15.6, landing at 40 again. That is so high. That is literally into space. That's so good. Where have you gone that time? Okay, so after everything I've just said, we've just got a jump there. 162 yards, still spinning at 5,174. Land angle at 44.1. Wow. Wow, now that is where this iron might be the perfect middle ground for me personally. It's carrying a little bit further than my iron is. It's spinning a little bit more. It's therefore giving me a lot more land angle into the green, ability to stop it. And it is so consistent dispersion front to back. Impressive, really, really impressive. In a completely different way to some of the other game improvement irons that I've tested. They're impressive in terms of how far they go and how high they launch it. This is impressive in terms of how consistent it is, how much it's spinning, how much softness it's giving me into the greens. Yeah, this might be a bit of me. As much as I've loved all the others for different reasons, this might be a bit of me. Oh my God, that is literally into space. I keep saying that, but they just keep launching so high. Wow. Or peak heighting so high. I'm obviously getting confident with this golf club all of a sudden. 167.7, launching at 16.8, landing at nearly 45 degrees and spinning at 5,230. Maybe I wrote them off too early in terms of their distance capability, because as I'm getting more confident, they're going up and up and up, up and up and up each time. This is some golf club, Ping. Some golf club you've made. Oh my God, I've absolutely struck that out of the middle. You can just hear the sound of it. It sounded amazing, it felt amazing, it's flown amazing. Please give me some amazing numbers so I don't look like an idiot on camera. 166.6, spinning at 5,416, landing at 45 degrees. Like, what is there not to like? Oh my God. Oh my God, these are good. Okay, so I'm just going to go home now and I'm going to look at the data set and compare the feels that I'm having here in the bay to the real data, compare it to a set that I hit with my own Titleist T200 right at the start before I filmed this segment, and just show you both sets of numbers together. But the feelings I'm having in the bay are launching, in terms of peak height, it might not be the launch, but the peak height is out of this world. It's so high, they feel like they're going to the moon. It feels like it's landing really, really softly. It's spinning higher than anything that I've seen in recent irons that I've hit. The distances were getting further and further as I was gaining more and more confidence with the club, and it's just got some great feedback. So as I stand here in the bay, not wanting to draw a conclusion just yet, but if you're in the market for game improvement irons, you should definitely test these. There's something completely different in terms of how they feel and how they perform to some of the other game improvement irons that I've hit. But they're brilliant, First Ping irons I've hit in a while. Like I say, probably 5 years, and I don't even remember the last set, and these are just, they're great. Ping, they're great. Right, let's go home and see if I'm still feeling the same when I look at the numbers side by side. So I've just got home and had a chance to look at the data side by side with the shots that I hit with my own Titleist T200 shortly before the batch of shots that I hit with the G425, and the numbers are backing up the feels that I had in the bay. I'm really impressed with these irons. Yes, they were only going a little bit further than my current irons, so 7 yards on the carry, but there was an increase in spin. It might not seem a lot to you, 300 odd revs with a 7 iron, but to me that's massive. Any increase in spin that I can get is absolutely massive for me. They were also launching a fraction higher, and then the peak height, was something I kept saying. I felt like I was hitting them really high. We've got here a 12 feet increase in height. That's 4 yards of extra height, and then that correlated into nearly 4 degrees of extra land angle. So the land angle, the height and the spin gives me a lot more confidence I'd have the ability to hold greens here, and I'm half a club or so longer. So really impressive numbers from the G425. If we look at the dispersion, on first glance, the Ping doesn't maybe look as impressive as my Titleist T200s. However, what I would say is if we take out that one bad shot that I hit right at the very beginning, it was the first shot I hit with the Pings, where I hit right down the left, and actually just show the rest of the shots, you can just see how tight that dispersion is in terms of left to right as well. So really impressed by it. And there were a couple, as you could see, as I was getting into it, I think all 4 of the longer shots were the shots that I hit towards the end. So as I got more confident with the club, I was able to actually exercise some really good hits in it and hit 3 or 4 that were as long, if not longer, than my T200 best shot. In terms of the strike location on both, a little bit more consistent with my T200, so slightly out of the toe but quite consistent. So overall, really impressive numbers. Great job, Ping. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the video now, and I just thought I'd give you my concluding thoughts. Now, if we go back to the beginning of the video and those claims that Ping have made, they said that it will help you to launch the ball higher. Tick, I saw that. They said that it will help you to hit the ball further. Semi-tick, but I'm not necessarily looking for any more distance with my irons. And they said it would help you to give you more stopping power into the greens. Well, I saw that in terms of the added spin and the increased descent angle, as well as those peak heights. So for me, this is an absolute massive win on all 3 of them. Ping, you've done an absolutely great job. Now, what I would say is if you saw these clubs on the shelf, you might not find them as sexy as maybe some of the current irons that are out there, but that doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me what they look like in my bag, it bothers me how they perform. And for me personally, the things that I'm looking for in a set of irons, these absolutely perform fantastic. Now, there'll be some golfers out there who already hit the ball too high or maybe have too much spin. You probably won't find these as good as I did, but unless you consider maybe the power loft option, and that might help you out. But overall, really impressed, and when I'm in the market for new irons, these will be top of my list to test. Ping, great job. Now, just coming to the end of the video, and all that remains for me to say is if you like the video, then please do consider giving it a thumbs up. Please do consider subscribing to the channel, and I'd really love to hear in your comments down below. Have you tested these irons? Do you play any of the Ping range? What do you think to them? Would really love to hear your thoughts. Now, thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.